Move that over here. There we go. See how much the computer cries today. Oh yeah, I wanted to see if I could do this. Um, this source is not supported in Portrait? What are you talking about? Okay, let's see if I can get this on chat. It's going to be no. Okay, platform. Just don't need any of the other stuff. We are just getting chat. Okay, there we go. Let's copy that. Put it over here. Add. Nope, that's the old one. This is the new one. Okay. Got message style. Oh, this keyboard's not on. Just like, why is it not working? Okay, let's hope that works. Hello, how's everyone doing? Thank you. I will keep up the work. It's one of those things I wanted to stick to my normal streaming schedule, but right now I'm just like I kind of want to stream. Like I've been enjoying the conversations that this stream has been getting. So let's do it. Let's see if there's more conversations about it. Let me get a few tabs open really quick because I already know people are going to ask certain questions and everything like that. I want this. That. See if I can make a group. Am I able to make a group? Not. Okay. We'll go with that article and this. Oh yeah, AI makes a lot of mistakes. Why is it harmful? Literally currently pulling it up right now. see if this one's using the same study I'm looking at. Yep, same exact study. This one. So, for one thing, data centers are causing heat to rise in the communities that data centers are installed in. AI also causes a lot of harm to people because currently the studies are not out yet. They're currently still being researched, but the early indications are that AI, or at least the use of large language models, causes a person to have dementia like symptoms or at least show cognitive decline. It's also really damaging the PC component market and just computer components in general. Like, we can find harm at pretty much every level when it comes to AI with how the way that companies in the US have been doing things. It's not causing dementia, it's causing dementia like symptoms. It is causing symptoms that mimic dementia symptoms. Oh, I didn't want to open that from, I wanted to open that new tab. Let me look at the news articles because there was one I had yesterday that was really good about the data center in Utah and how a lot of scientists are talking about the crap TikTok. No, I don't want the TikTok live stream window to be the main window. I have other chats open and other things open. There we go. There's another article that I would do for this one. Xylox. Where in this did I say AI or LLMs are bad? Like, I know some people have an issue reading, so let me help. AI is harmful and a bubble. AI is harmful and a bubble. Nowhere in that does it say it is bad in and of itself. How is it harmful? I mean, the easiest one to point to is this. Control Alt Dad. Okay, tell me how. Here, let me show you this one. So currently there is a data center proposed to be built in Utah that is going to use over twice as much power as the state of Utah uses. When in history have we done that? At least in modern history. I know during like the Industrial Revolution when things were a lot more lax, yeah, we probably done horrible things like this. But Ray, the reason AI is harmful, I literally have it on the screen right now. I can even zoom in if you want. Here's one of the reasons it is harmful. I avoid using large language models and AI tools as much as possible until big companies in the US have like pulled back how much they're doing. I have no interest in using it. Like, there's some things I can't avoid using large language models and AI for, but yeah. Yeah, now we're just speed running global warming. I mean, heck, quite literally. Yeah, Utah is in a massive drought. Like the governor literally did a press conference about the drought and then also did a press conference about the new data center and how we need it. Also, someone asked if we're only doing this topic or if there will be other ones. It kind of depends on how it goes. Honestly, if people want to ask me tech questions, they're still welcome to ask me tech questions. Bleep bloop. When did I say I'm trying to stop large language models and AI? Like, that's the thing. Half of the people who hop in here who don't like what I say tend to make up a fake version of me and then debate that. Can we ask AI how to stop global warming? We already know how. We know how to reduce the damage that we're currently doing. Just saying, the world's going to have to adjust because it's not going anywhere. Just because it's not going anywhere doesn't mean we can't actually do things in a better way. We have examples of how to do things in a better way. We're just choosing the more destructive version here in the US. Andrew, it 100% is a bubble. I haven't had a cheesesteak in years. It's weird. I'm from Pennsylvania. Not a big fan of Philly cheesesteaks. Hoopla. Yeah, we have self-sufficient data centers that cause more of this issue. Yeah. Let me pull up the stuff about it being a bubble. One of my viewers created a nice little image for me that is more up to date than the other ones were. Okay. So there's two parts to it being a bubble. For one thing, how companies have been investing in it and the income that is mostly just other companies investing in each other. TikTok chat is hallucinating. That's funny. And then the actual definition of an economic bubble. Why would I add ketchup to a Philly cheesesteak? It's good on its own. The meat should be providing the sauce. Andrew, what is the revenue that AI companies are getting that isn't investment revenue? And how much of the money that they're bringing in is from investments and how much is from actual people using it? Even if an AI data center is using like less harmful energy sources, it's still causing this. It's still causing the warming effect to the area that the AI data centers are built in. Oh yeah, the stock market is 100% obsessed with AI stocks right now. Here, let me pull up this one really quick. Because this is a great example of how much of a bubble it is. Um, like one of the easy ways to see when something is a bubble is looking at how companies within that area, like how stock changes for them. Like this company right here. So this big jump where it quadrupled its value, let's see. It was 249, went up to 1699. Yeah, almost quadrupled. Right? No, that's more than quadrupled. That's quadrupled would be 10. Sextupled? Just because they announced that they were going to rent GPUs for AI use. That's a bubble. Like, that's a clear bubble. Don't all buildings do that by reflective heating? There, a lot of buildings do cause more heat in their area because of reflective heating and things like that. These buildings already do that as well, but it's not noticeable most of the time. The heat from the actual data center is the thing heating up the area for 6 miles. Most buildings that cause a heating effect do not go that far unless it's built in a specific way that is massively harmful. Like, wasn't it in the UK the building that like pretty much was creating deadly heat lasers? Yeah. Why do I see it as a bubble, not as an opportunity? Because it's definitionally a bubble. Like literally right here, I literally just mentioned Allbirds, a company that was selling shoes up until this point right here. Then they made an announcement, we are going to change to start renting out GPUs, and their stock price jumped. When a bubble like this pops, it causes an economic crisis in usually the areas that it directly affects, like the companies that were invested in it and the companies that directly were using it. Look at the .com bubble, for example. I feel like I have something on my tooth. There we go. Will AI be expensive once it pops? I mean, currently LLMs are not that expensive. Like, especially if you run self-hosted LLMs. And if we start doing more of what like the Chinese model of how they've been developing LLMs, then it's not as harmful and it's less of a bubble. Purple, where am I saying that if the bubble pops, we're never going to use LLMs again? Okay, you actually got something, but it is useful. I Where do I say it doesn't have any uses? These are my statements. Where in here does it say that there's no uses for AI? It would be a good thing if the bubble pops. It's being artificially inflated right now and it's being kept held together by companies and it's going to cause problems, but if you hold the bubble together longer, then you're going to cause more problems. Andrew, I'm not saying it's a bubble because of circular spending. I'm saying that things like this show evidence of a bubble. Things like this also show evidence of a bubble. It's combined things to show that it's a bubble. Earlier, I asked you, where is the outside money that isn't the investments? Where's the outside money coming from? And is it even significant compared to the investment money? Could I clarify from the beginning? I mean, that those are just my points. Like, that's the entire thing. If you want me to break things down beyond that, I can. But I need to know what you would want me to break down. Is it a bubble because it makes a circle? No. It's a bubble for multiple different reasons. One of the biggest reasons that it's considered a bubble is because of the artificial inflation. If you actually look up what an economic bubble is and break it down, then you can actually see things like this are an example of it being a bubble. Oh yeah, Maddie, that's honestly, I can't remember who mentioned it. It was probably Endeavorance. Honestly, it was probably one of Endeavorance's videos on AI. Um, the goals of the companies is usually to get a lot of people to use the platform and rely on the platform and have it as something that they kind of need and then raise the price then. What's your background? I've been in IT for almost 20 years. Yeah, when we look at past bubbles, we can see what happens when a bubble pops. You want to go outside? Okay, give me just a second. In your opinion, what should be done about AI in terms of its harm, whether that is to people or planet? So, if we start going with more closely adopting what China does for how they develop AI, then we'd be better off. Let me let my cat out really quick so she. Hey, you ran away from the window as I stood up. There you go. You'll be the terror of the neighborhood. So China has been working on AI just like the US has, but they've been going at it from the perspective of we don't want it to be using an exorbitant amount of power. We are very limited on what GPUs that China can get. And so they're going, okay, how can we use the stuff that we have, which is lower power than what the US uses, to do the same thing? And so we have been seeing countless times model after model come out of China that has the same capabilities and the same what's the term for it? Like it's just as powerful as US models, but it uses far less power. It doesn't require the same amount of resources that the US does. The US has a mentality of going into it of just use as much power as possible to do what we need to do. Yeah, exactly, Maddie. The Chinese model has been going from the bottom up of this is the hardware that we have. What can we do with that hardware? And then how can we optimize it so we are doing it the best we can? Yeah, Andrew, Allbirds has been on the decline for a while, but the decline is not the part I'm talking about. It's the massive spike when they made an announcement that they were just planning on doing something. There's no actual value here. There's literally no value in what they announced because they would have to get approval by their board to drastically change what the company is. And they had not gotten that when the spike happened. So there's no value there. That's the point. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what happens with Nvidia when the bubble pops. Um because like Nvidia will be just fine in all honesty. I want to see if they pivot and like what dip they have from it. AI agents are spawning AI agents. You don't need humans to drive usage anymore. Okay, then where's the income coming from at that point? If you're removing the human element, then you're removing the income element. Do I believe in AI AGI? Yeah. I don't think we're anywhere close to that, and I don't think large language models are going to get us any closer to general artificial intelligence. Yeah, Bill, that's kind of one of the problems is we are building without actually thinking. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point, Matt. Like AGI is just honestly a marketing term currently because we're nowhere close to an AGI. Like I'll be honest, there's probably going to be a point when suddenly there's like a new announcement that someone like has what they consider an AGI and it's going to blow everyone away. Kind of like how when the first LLMs came out, it blew everyone away and it was a massive step forward. But at the same time, like we're not really going to know that it's coming until it's here. Why do I care where the money comes from? Because that's a key aspect. When looking at something like this, you want to know where the money's coming from and where the money's going because then you can actually see things like this. You can see that it's a bubble. It's mostly people investing in each other instead of bringing in actual like revenue. Yeah, companies are massively doubling down on AI, and at some point, it just gets worse and worse. Um, Super Dave, hey, what's a good video editing software? So there's two different ones that I use. For major video editing, I use DaVinci Resolve. It is free for like most users. Like there's some higher end stuff that is locked behind a paywall, but most people won't touch that stuff. And then the other one I use is CapCut because it's quick and easy and it can be run on like my phones and also my computers and they can all sync up to each other. Um, yeah, DaVinci Resolve is phenomenal. And if you ever decide that you want like the paid version of DaVinci Resolve instead of the free version, I recommend ordering a speed editor because it comes with a free license. Also, I have to keep looking over my shoulder to see if my cat wants back in. This is like watching the Flat Earth Society. Why exactly, Bill? Like every style of remark you've made so far is talking about the investment. The investment doesn't like change anything that I've said here. Like, yes, AI currently is a fantastic investment. If you want to get rich, do something in AI, you'll usually get rich. If you want to make a ton of money off of a stock, just say that company is now doing AI and it'll go up and can make a ton of money off of that stock because of it. That doesn't change anything about these two things. The dot-com bubble was a fantastic investment until the bubble popped. Lolo, it sounds like your USB drive has failed because usually if a drive is not letting you do anything to it and it's in a write protected state, that usually means that the drive has stopped working. Quite a few different flash devices will make it so you can still read the data off of them, so they go into a write protected state at the end of its lifespan so that you can still get data off of it, but sometimes you can't. Let's see, what other things have I mentioned or have I missed? Access. I don't know why your computer is not booting off of a Linux flash drive. I'd need to like actually use your computer to find out. Oh yeah, like there's a lot of companies that have been starting to use AI more and pushing AI more, but at the same time, they realize that it's not able to do a lot of things, and so they don't trust it with higher level things. Oh, thank you so much for the rose. Oh God, your job liquidated HR, and I'm guessing replaced it with AI slop at that point. Yeah, the majority of AI is just marketing and is not actually helping. Exactly. I okay, that now makes me want to look up the specs on the Las Vegas Sphere because Axis just said it uses 2 terabytes of RAM and a lot of storage. I don't know what A2000s are off the top of my head. Oh, okay, the Nvidia okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, the Sphere is so cool. Like I think my favorite thing is when like timing stuff for recording the Sphere lines up with like a flight passing by, so like the face on the Sphere watches the plane, and so the person in the plane filming is just watching the Sphere watch them. So fun. Is AI being a bubble really a bad thing? Yeah, financial bubbles tend to be a bad thing. Oh, someone else sent me a gift. Thank you so much. AI is harmful is a pretty broad claim. You know what else is broad? The amount of harm that the AI data centers are doing. You might think it's a broad claim, but I can back it up. Why is it a bubble? Because things like this are a brilliant example of why it's a bubble. Do you remember back when NFTs and crypto and everything like that was all over in the news, and like companies would add like cryptocurrency or NFT or things like that to like their company description or name, and their stock would shoot up with no actual plan for them to implement any of that stuff? Yeah, that's a bubble right there. That one was not that bad of a bubble because we didn't have as much investment as we do with the AI bubble. You are literally using software and Google. There's no difference for warehouses and water usage. Actually, there is. So most data centers are just that, data centers. They're not processing centers. Most AI centers are going to be processing centers. They're actively processing information, where most data centers just serve data. It doesn't take as much power for a computer to just run a hard drive and serve the data from that drive as it takes for them to process data. The servers that are being done for AI have multiple GPU units in them. Most servers that just serve data do not have GPU units because they don't need them. They are serving data from a drive that doesn't require a GPU processor. Are you someone that gets laid off because of AI? No, I run my own business. Yeah, no, as I was saying that sentence, I'm just like, I'm saying processor while talking about GPU and saying the word GPU. Oh well. Greg, I was responding to a specific person who was saying that I was using data centers because I was using things like Google. And so I was doing as much damage as the data centers when this is what the data centers for AI are doing. Most current data centers are not as compute heavy as AI data centers. Like, yes, data centers can do damage themselves, but AI data centers are more destructive, and we are building them at a quicker rate than we ever have before. JB the Cat, if it was industrialization pushback, I wouldn't have repeatedly said that there are ways to do it better that would actually be less harmful. Like, that's the thing. Like, people hop in the comments and call me like a Luddite and things like that. I'm like, no, I just want us to stop doing it in harmful ways, and I want the big companies to get out of it because they're just using it as an investment and actually more harm in the process. Yeah, everything has drawbacks of some sort, and that's why we usually run um that's why we actually try to like do risk analysis. We try to see if the benefits outweigh the harm. With AI, it doesn't currently. We are doing massive amounts of harm for chatbots. Yeah, for like AI remixes and things like that. Like we're pretty much doing massive amounts of harm for Snapchat filters or for Grok to make inappropriate pictures of children. Money Alex, the problem is LLMs are not artificial intelligence. They're not actually thinking, they're not actually able to learn from things. They're more like mimicking intelligence. Is it a is it a bad thing to not like irreparable damage to the earth? Exactly. Oliver and overalls. Where okay, so here's my statement right here. Where's the part that I'm missing in my statement that says we need to stop AI at all costs? We need to make it so AI goes away. Where have I stated that? Yes, Greg, there's other things that can do this amount of damage. Your point? Oh, no worries, Oliver in overalls. I only see snippets of what people are saying, like because some people say multiple comments, and so I don't know who's replying to who. See, your title is my title's fairly specific. People tend to add other words to it and then argue with those other words that aren't in there. That was a good one, Maddie. Yeah, if AI was more focused on social good, I have no doubt that at the same time, the people who were developing AI for social good would be doing it in a less harmful way. How about I change the title to something specific? Okay. If I change the title to something specific, I won't get as many viewers and it'll be less useful. Like, I have the title what I have the title for a reason. I don't mind people asking questions and actually conversing about it. That's kind of the point. What would open source AI look like? We already have examples of it. There are open source AI models out there. Well, LLM models. And then we also have like even China's have been more open than the US ones. They have been more energy efficient, just as powerful and more open. Like, yeah. Thank you, Z. He's a Chinese spy. Oh no. The more we advance in the field of AI, the less impact on the environment. Where? Where's the evidence for that? Marcelo, no, I don't agree with the trade-off. Like that's the thing. The current trade-off that the US is relying on is more harmful than it should be, and there are other examples of how we can do it in a better way. JZWZWZ, when did I say we should cancel AI? There's nowhere in this that says we should cancel AI. Let's see. How is AI a bubble? I mean, one of the biggest examples of how investments have been done. When a company says that they're going to start doing something in AI, their stock just jumps. And that shows a clear investments without value because people are investing in this company when they aren't actually doing the AI thing anywhere in this because they were still waiting for their board to let them change stuff so they could do it. But their stock jumped the moment they made the announcement. Then, if we actually look at where most investments for AI are for most of the big companies, we see that it's not outside revenue that is actually driving AI. We see that it is companies just investing in each other and hoping that those companies they give money to will give that money back to them in exchange for tools, parts, things like that. No, it's not very smart. When you have it where investments are just going back and forth between two companies, like the money is just changing hands back and forth, it just artificially inflates the value of something. It doesn't actually help. Someone said, "You realize AI has been in development and in use for well over a decade." I specify on the screen because so many people were just like, "Oh, you're talking about all AI." I specify it. What does this say? The person whose user like name is Nah. What does this say right here next to my finger in black? Okay, it doesn't matter if companies are making their own AIs to do stuff. Like you're arguing with someone that is not me. If you want to like respond to my points, I would love for that, but if you're going to make a fake person and argue with them, I'm not going to bother replying to what you say. Nah, the asterisk leads to the thing directly below it. I put it directly below it because people were getting confused about the fact that the asterisk was over to the right to specify what I meant by AI. Like, I couldn't have made it clearer for you. Do I? Okay, give me a second. Okay, I have paper. I don't have crayons, but I have colored pencils. I do also have what are they called? The pastels. Let's do a pastel. I need this one, and I need this one. Okay, let's see if there's anything else on my desk I should hide or anything like that. Since Na needs some help. So, on the screen, I have AI with an asterisk here. So, an asterisk normally means that there is more information, that there's something more to do with what is right there. And so for things that use citations, it means to look below, because down below it'll have an asterisk that lines up with the asterisk that's up there. Think like Wikipedia, how it has those little numbers. So the asterisk is telling you to look at the more information that is commonly with another asterisk. So that means to go and look at that asterisk to understand the more information that deals with this. So the specificity that deals with this. That's why the asterisk is there. Sorry, I didn't have actual crayons, so I hope this worked. Did this work? I can go get actual crayons if you want. I probably have some somewhere. You mean the bubble is harmful and not the large language models? No, the large language models are also harmful because of how the data centers are being done and how we are doing most large language models in the US. You guys don't understand what AI is about. Are you talking to the chat or me? Okay, if AI is not a bubble, then why do the companies that suddenly say that they're going to be doing AI stuff see a jump in stock price even before they've done any AI stuff or created any value? That is a value increase without actual value. That is literally the definition of a bubble. We are seeing overvaluation of things without actual value being created. Where's Andy? Andy! Come back to the window. I want to go to the door. What specifically do you hate about AI? This is on the screen. Okay, Rickian, what do I not understand about AI? No, I'm not pointing to the economic part that's above me. I'm pointing to this on the side, that it's harmful and that's a bubble. Shadow, how exactly will it be more harmful if the bubble pops? Where did my back scratcher go? I know I saw it. Put it on the couch. Fuck, I've lost my back scratcher. Yeah, talking to other humans instead of ChatGPT is 10 times better. I mean, yeah, like you tend to learn more when you're not offloading your thought process to an AI. Internet money, Alex. Where in the U.S. is the regulation for large language models? What regulation is in place currently? Because you said everything is well regulated. What regulation? Oh, it's going to create so much e-waste. If AI is harmful, it wouldn't be over invested in? Square that circle for me. How are those two things related? Yeep, it's me. Honestly, I already expected the bubble to burst. I'm shocked it's gotten as far as it has, especially after major companies backed out. Yeah, Shadow, no, that comment confused the fuck out of me. Um, so like I think the hope is that next year we will see computer part prices come back to more normal prices. Someone literally just said, "Are we talking about LLMs or all AI?" How do I specify this more clearly over on this side? Because I specifically put AI because that's what most people consider large language models, even though they're not AI. Yeah, it's possible that computer part prices are cooked until, well, I wouldn't say 2029. I would figure 2028, but yeah. Can you enlighten me how the stock not going up despite the AI? What do you mean the stock not going? Whose stock is not going up? What AI based company's stock is not going up right now? The real, you hate working. I feel that in my soul. The real bubble is seeing AI only from the economic angle. I'm not seeing AI from an economic angle. Okay. I'm trying to spot the person who mentioned, can we vote for communism? I mean, you'd still have to work under communism. Yeah, I don't see the person who is saying that the stock price isn't going up. So are LLMs hurting people or the environment? Both. It's hurting the environment in multiple different ways. The heat bubble is just an easy way to point to without people going, well, they've solved for that. They've solved for that. They've solved for that, even though most of the data centers aren't using the solutions. Because, like, if you point at how data centers being built in neighborhoods have caused the price of electricity to increase, a lot of people will reply, well, some data centers provide their own power, even though that's not most data centers. And most data centers that are being built for AI and large language models are not planning in power generation. They're relying on the local grid for the most part. And so, oh my God, literally every time I've done this stream and like someone asks me to switch from harmful to bubble or bubble to harmful, the moment I switch and start talking about the harm, someone hops in saying it's not a bubble. If I start talking about the bubble, someone hops in saying it's not harmful. Like, good fucking God, people. If it's not a bubble, then why are most of the investments between different companies just sending money back and forth? And why do we see companies suddenly have a stock price increase so drastic the moment that they mention they might do something AI? They don't even have to specify what they would be doing AI. They just say, we might do something AI, and the stock price goes up. That is literally a bubble. Do I need to isn't it tulips? Do I need to show you guys like how the tulip crisis happened? Or the what was it called? Where it was the overinflation of tulips. Because I don't think a lot of you know what a bubble is or how they work. Look at AWS and OpenAI, Mr. Smarty Pants. Is OpenAI profitable currently? Minus any investments that are coming in, is OpenAI profitable in the AI market? Are they making enough money coming in from consumers using their product to meet the demands of the cost to make that product? Yeah, the Netherlands tulips. I think a lot of people need to go study that to understand the basics of bubbles. Yeah, it's a good investment for Amazon, just like it's a good investment for Nvidia. That doesn't mean it's not a bubble. Yeah, I'm terrified of like the next 2 decades from vibe coding. Yeah, NFTs were another good one to look at too. Yeah, Maddie, Tulip Mania is one of those really it's a good example for teaching people like economic bubbles, honestly. And like market craze. Honestly, I was just what was I just watching? It was a video about Hello Neighbors like game where you're an engineer. Hello Engineer, probably the name. Um and it talked about Stadia, and I miss Stadia. I honestly really liked Stadia. I was also someone I was in the on live beta, like the first major company to do streaming video games. Yeah, it's fantastic. Paul B, if I show you how it's harmful, will you actually admit that it's harmful, or will you come up with an excuse? Oh yeah, Nvidia, like when the bubble pops, Nvidia is going to survive. Like um it's going to make us all rich basically. Oh god, I don't think I could explain anything to you if that's your take. Yeah, Splazer, exactly. It can be good and be harmful at the same time. I think the harm outweighs the good though. Um Especially with how many people are using it the way they are. Yeah, no, Nvidia will be just fine when the bubble pops. The main company that well, there's two companies that are likely to have massive turmoil if the bubble pops is OpenAI and Oracle. Those are the two companies that will most likely have the worst time. I don't think the good outweighs the bad, considering how many people are using it for slop. We're just wasting resources and burning fuel. Yeah, Oracle might go bye bye when it pops. That's why they're so desperate to keep it together. So Paul is going off of the everything will be automated and it will all be better in future. Just trust me, bro. It all get better over time. It cannot bad happen. It can only good happen. Yeah, we don't have evidence of any of those things, so we have to go with what we have evidence of right now instead of wild speculation of what the future might be because of LLMs from people who don't actually understand what LLMs are. Let's see, what other question? No, Internet Money Alex, it's mostly the companies that are pushing it the way that they are. Like, that's one of the reasons why, for the longest time, I've said publicly, repeatedly, over and over again, I don't use AI for the most part right now until the big companies get out of it. Because once the bubble pops, then it's going to be better. Because usually, once the bubble pops, big companies aren't pushing it as much and aren't doing as much harm with it. And so, more private sector people start getting into the research field with it and start making it better. Yeah, the commercial internet starting out as a bubble. Like, when it was still in bubble form, the internet was very stagnant because it was just a commodity. Once the bubble popped, a lot more people start, like, you did have a lot more hacker stuff before the bubble popped, but at the same time, once the bubble popped, we actually saw an increase in what's the word I'm looking for? Innovation. There we go. You just jumped on. So, are you against or for neighborhood data centers? Completely against. I'm also against a lot of the data centers that are being built because they're doing it in a very harmful way. Harmful to the environment, harmful to communities that they're building them near, harmful at every level, pretty much. No, even if people know that there's a bubble, it's still likely to pop because the people can't affect the bubble. It's the companies that are investing with each other that are affecting the bubble. Okay, you're using vibe coding to create an app you won't actually understand, so when something goes wrong, you won't be able to fix the bugs. And when there's a security issue with it, you will have no clue how to fix the security issue because you vibe coded it. Oh, that's actually a very good point, KXD. Um, Venture capital funding is getting harder and harder for AI startups right now. Yeah, I have noticed that, and that's a decent sign that the bubble's probably going to pop at some point. Yeah, a lot of people don't bother. Do you not know what vibe coding is? Because you just described vibe coding, then you said it's not vibe coding. Riffy and I never said big companies don't use venture or big companies use venture capital. I literally said, I was reading the person's comment and it said small businesses, small startups. Like, that's the most frustrating thing is half the time I say stuff, people don't actually listen and then they make up a fake version of me to argue with. Vibe coders don't know what vibe coders are. Exactly. Burn 1 trillion more tokens and say make app secure. It might work. Have I heard of Tempest? I don't know off the top of my head. I might have. Dude, you literally don't know what vibe coding is. Here, I'll even use the AI overview for you. Vibe coding is a popularized in the early 2000s software development approach where users guide AI agents using natural language prompts to generate, debug, and refine applications. Literally what you're doing. You using AI to create your program to scan different stocks is vibe coding. It doesn't matter. I didn't say you're making a published app. Good fucking God, no wonder you use AI. Yeah, Shadow, there's good ways to use large language models to help learn how to code and things like that. And honestly, I think that's one of the better uses for large language models. I still think large language models are helpful. I said things that are vibe coded will have security issues. It doesn't matter if what you're making is an app. It's something that is running. Also, app means application. You don't even know the basics of programming. You didn't even know you were vibe coding originally. Because when I said that's vibe coding, you said no, it's not vibe coding. Then when I break down vibe coding, you're like, well, yeah, it is vibe coding, but you mentioned security, so I'm gonna talk about the security because it's not an app. It's not on a phone. And apps are on the phone, right? Apps are on the phone. App and browser control. Huh. App means application. And the reason that I say that something that is vibe coded, if it's an app or not, it could be anything that's vibe coded, will usually have more inherent security issues because you don't actually understand the code. So you don't know the security issues that you're putting into the code by using the vibe coding. AI doesn't know how to search for security issues, even though there's some specialized large language model AIs that now search for security issues. It's a very specialized thing that very specific AIs can do, and it is very limited what companies are able to use them even though when they did which company was it that put out their one that scans for like vulnerabilities, um like hackers found out the website within like 6 hours or something like that. Was it? It's Anthropic that has the new one that does the. Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, Tyler. And I think the medical field is one of the main ones that can benefit from large language models and AI. But at the same time, the way the US goes about how it makes AI and how it does things is more harmful than beneficial. David asks, how is it harmful? Well, that's on the screen. Yeah. Kinnick. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for. At least it's one of the benefits they're relying on. Is, hey, yeah, so you know how you vibe coded all this stuff? And oh god, that is a horrible ad. It's like flashing lights. That's horrifying. So hey, you know how you vibe coded all this stuff? Guess what? There's massive security holes in it, but guess what? We can help you fix that if you invest in our new AI. Um, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Something this. Almost all those data centers are fossil fuels. Would you not be for nuclear power for this instead? How does it using fossil fuels or nuclear power change what's on the screen? Why is AI harmful? It boosts my work like 10 times. I've seen so many people hopping into the chat to say specifically 10 times. I want to know where you guys are getting this. Give me some sources on you actually having 10 times increase or people having 10 times increase. The person with this in their name said, I mean, there's other problems aside from what's on the screen a push to nuclear would fix. The reason I don't mention those other problems is because they're easily correctable problems. Granted, most of the times the companies building the data centers don't want to do the ways that will fix those problems because it's more expensive. They want the quick fix for a cash injection. This can't be fixed by nuclear power. I don't refer to the power use and the power consumption and the cost of power going up due to data centers because it's something that can be fixed. And a lot of people will just go and dismiss what I say because they think data centers are going to fix it that way when they're not. David, if your house was on fire and there was a corner of your house that wasn't burning, and I walk up with a flamethrower and start burning that corner of your house, would you let me continue? Like, that's the thing. That's the thing I don't get every time when this BS argument comes up. Well, there's been data centers in the past and you're not upset about those ones. We are seeing at the beginning of this year, March of this year, we had over 3,000 data centers in the US. By next year, we are looking at having 4,500. That's not a small increase. That's a drastic increase. And when they're looking at doing AI data centers, they're not looking at doing small AI data centers. They're looking at doing massive AI data centers that use twice as much fucking power as the state they're putting it in. Oh, please, Satan, tell me you're joking with that comment. Honestly, if this data center complex gets opened in Utah, it's going to make me want to leave the state even faster. I'm already planning on moving out of this state, but if they push for that data center to open, I'm leaving faster. Oh yeah, they're everywhere, but like the things that Utah is trying to do to try to like override what the communities want. Yeah. Yeah, the world is literally run by greed. So the water for this complex is supposed to be getting gotten from the Great Salt Lake, and then they're supposedly filtering it to put. Oh joy, the AI bros have reported my stream again because they don't like that someone doesn't agree with them. There we go. Live restricted for some audiences. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Reason: body exposure and sexualized behaviors. Where? Yeah, Satan, you already advocated for people to report my stream, so I'm already blocking you and showing that I'm blocking you on the live stream. Because literally in the comment section, they said, let me pull it up on this one. Yeah, here we go. Here's them advocating for people to report my stream because they don't like what I'm saying about AI. They don't like that I point out that there's harmful stuff that AI does. Quantum computing is already here. Like, do you not know that we have quantum computing? Yeah, the annoying thing about the TikTok thing is I can't even appeal them saying that. Like, it's just like, nope, your stream is now restricted, so good luck. Oh yeah, Google Lens is phenomenal. Like, there are fantastic AI and LLM tools. But at the same time, it's harmful. It's barely here and at a single scale at IBM. Give me a break. You think the only quantum computer we have is at IBM? Here's a list of all the quantum processors and where they are. Here's IBM's. They have a bunch. There's Intel's. There's Google's. Let's see if this one shows the ones that are at NASA. How is this only single site at IBM? You said it was just at IBM, right? As AI made your life easier, these streams have made my life harder. Most quantum processors are being used for uh, scientific research because honestly, that's most of what quantum processors can be used for right now. Oh, why is your eye so watery? Oh, come here. You got an eye infection? I have a cat on my lap now. Hmm. Let's see. Do. What have I missed so far? You guys want to see the cat? Hmm. You want Snuggles right now? And then there's another cat behind me. I like how Chad is just now like, cat, cat, cat. Yeah. On TikTok, I was crazy once said quantum processing is very niche and hard to scale because the conditions it needs to work. Yeah, it is very hard to scale quantum computing. Are quantum computers available for individuals? Not really. Like, not unless you have a ton of money. What? You just want to lay on my lap? Yeah, sure. That's why you said specifically what you said. You didn't know what vibe coding was. You didn't know that there were more quantum computers than just the one at IBM. Like, dude, quit while you're behind, honestly. Cat on my lap, cat on my lap, cat, 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 cat on my lap. How long is my live restricted for? That's what I want to know. It didn't give me a time this time. Yesterday, it gave me times for how long it would be restricted for. And I don't see any other notifications for it. Dang it. Okay. Yeah, because while it's restricted, that means less people come in and see it. Yes, encryption breaking is a threat from quantum computing, but the problem is it would need to be quantum computing that is less regulated than it is now. Quantum computing is highly regulated because of how prohibitively expensive it is. You didn't even know how many quantum computers there were. You thought there was one. Want to talk about LLM use by the current US government? It's terrifying how much they've been relying on it and how much they've been pushing not having regulation on it. Yeah, no, the US is very horrifying right now when it comes to surveillance and large language models and AI. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is on TikTok. I have a lot of stuff that gets reported and gets taken down almost instantly. Then when I appeal it, they're just like, "Oh yeah, we shouldn't have taken this down." I'm just like, "Okay." It's one of the reasons I stopped doing any cybersecurity video because all of them would get reported and taken down really quickly. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything, but I think I might be out of the time period of restriction because I just saw a few notifications that more people are coming in. So I'm gonna take a few bites of food while people ask me more questions. Ooh, I was crazy once. I want to know more. Do I listen to Ed Zitron? I have no clue who that is. Let me find out if I can get music working for you guys this time. It wasn't working for some reason yesterday, and I don't know why. But I'm gonna try it again today. Because when we get the slowdown, because my stream's reported, I want you guys still to have some niceties. I'm trying to turn it up lightly without blowing your guys' eardrums out. Let me know if the music is too loud in the background or if it's too quiet. Either way, let me know. Now, how can you be like Bill Gates? Be a horrible person. And make sure to tell everyone you started your company in the garage and don't tell them about the massive amount of money that your family had to help get you started. Ooh, you're analyzing how you can make local AI inference analysis more reliable. That is cool. I was just watching one of my other favorite streamers, who does live debates. One of the members of his audience just made him a tool that can track who's talking, like in the debate. Like it's more based off of the audio input, if it's coming from the microphone or if it's coming from the speaker. Um, but it also has built in because he debates left leaning stuff. he asks people what their pronouns are, and so when people don't give pronouns, he just has a thing where there's a buzzer sound every time they try to use a pronoun in a sentence, and it automatically does it for him now. Is information more powerful than money? I don't think so. Not in our current system. Our current system, money is more powerful than information. Information without money behind it does not really get that far most of the time, and so money tends to be the main driver. See if we get any more people joining, asking questions about this, but I don't have much hope. I get the feeling that like my life was like completely restricted, like not being recommended to new people. Which I've already met my goal for what I wanted to stream today. I just figured I would stream for at least an hour, but I want to see. Doesn't have any information about that. Yeah, based off of some of the notifications I have from TikTok, I get the feeling that my life is just completely restricted today. Let's see. Oh, I want to zoom this one in too. I kind of want to start making like a source document on the stuff I refer to. So the people are who are here hanging out with me, you guys want to support me decently, like more than following me on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you want an easy way to get there, thebeardeditguy.com. As well as all my links, including where I get my awesome stickers that are on things. I am reading the chat that Shadow has been talking about, and I've been feeling your pain and enjoying reading the story. Just FYI. Oh, Salt Lake Tribune finally isn't asking for membership to read their stuff. Yeah, Utah has gotten a lot less fun to be in the past like 2 years, like big time. Bjork tune. How what? Gotta be a little bit more specific. I mean, I don't disagree with you, the real Twitch. It's okay. Bjork tune said it's AI making life easier. I mean, not really that much easier, and it's doing way more harm. Like, the benefit does not outweigh the cost. Would I take a job training AI if that was the only job available? Last time there wasn't a job available for me, I made my own job. No, I would not take a job training AI. What was my highest paying job? Content creator. Right before I took a year off, uh, I was actually doing fairly well. How is AI harmful? I mean, here's one of the ways. Um, oh, I need to get rid of this part. Oh, this is the study from a year ago. I want something a little closer to current. Yeah, that's from last year. That's from last year. Here's the one I wanted to talk about. Where's. Yeah, here we go. So, what we've seen with previous technology and what we are currently seeing um, is that heavy AI use is causing a cognitive decline in people. And so it's literally causing dementia like symptoms in people. That's not a positive thing, that's a negative thing. Let's see, when was this study from? This one was from 2024. This is the more new one. There's more studies that are currently like being worked on and being looked over, but last year we already started the process looking into different studies to see if we could see what is actually happening to the human mind due to AI and things like that. We dumb and broke. Exactly. We dumb broke and we broke it. Do I like Pokemon? Yeah. I used to have more Pokemon up on my shelves, but I don't have any lately. I'm probably going to call the stream here, guys, because I don't think anyone else is joining because I think legitimately TikTok has limited my live stream access because someone reported me for something that I wasn't doing. Yeah, I like that's the thing I love is the fact that they have to report my stream because they don't like what I'm saying instead of actually having a cohesive argument to debate what I'm saying. It's kind of telling at that point. Let's see. Anything else? Oh yeah, literally yesterday I was like showing like I was pretending to be one of the commenters literally going la 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 and then screaming something. I think to go look at actual decent AI stuff, I might go watch some Code Bullet videos tonight. But I think tonight I'm going to rewatch Nimona because I haven't watched that in a while. And that is one of my favorite movies. Unless anyone has any more questions about AI stuff. I at least gained 16 followers from this live stream. That was kind of awesome in the early part. People who use AI are feeding billionaires. Exactly. Yeah, so any final questions before I wrap things up, guys? I have another study that I need to read through. I need to keep an eye on if there's any new studies coming out. I find it funny that tariffs only made China more independent. TikTok just let me know that live chat hasn't been shown on my screen for the past 2 minutes. The live chat that's on my screen just popped up a thing telling me that live chat hasn't been seen on my screen for the past 2 minutes. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to head off for the night. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was a shorter stream anyway. Yeah, no, it things kind of wound down very quickly after they reported my stream to make sure that they felt right about the fact that they like AI. Oh well. Bye, guys. I was even gonna play games and stuff like that, but that's just such a bummer. Who we raiding, Maddie? And did the raid work yesterday? You're the one that was on Twitch, so I didn't see if it worked yesterday. I figured it would work, but I always wanted to make sure. How do I push it out? Oh, I remember what was going on. No, the thing that I could push to push it out and force it, it didn't show up. I'll show you in just a second. Yeah, it was just a gray box and it had the timer going down on it and it didn't actually do it. Who should I rate? Give my couple of viewers to. I think there's 3. Ooh, what are they playing? Ooh, it's an automation game, yeah. Yeah, it didn't give me this option before, but now I'm going to push you guys over. I will see you guys later. I'm going to go relax and watch movies. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. You guys are awesome. Peace, everybody. Goodbye, everyone on YouTube. I will see you guys later. Most likely on Sunday. I'm probably tomorrow's Sunday, right? Yeah. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm probably going to be doing more of a normal stream tomorrow instead of the AI one because kind of want the AI ones to be non-normal streaming days. But yeah.